Item 7D, presentation regarding New Orleans Square, West New Orleans Street, and Elm Place intersection and streetscapes improvements. Kenny Schwab. And Travis.
Yes, so very exciting. About 9 or 10 months ago, council made a decision on the New Orleans Square, the intersection, and immediately we finished out the report and went right into the construction plans. At that meeting, we indicated that we wanted to be at a point where we could advertise the improvements by April of 2022. We made it today. It's on the street. This is advertised just as the public wanted. They voted in the improvements, GO bond money to make improvements at this location. So a lot of challenges in front of us, but what I want to do is bring Travis up and let him give a quick, brief presentation on it so everybody knows. Travis?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, Council of Travis Small Engineering Construction Department. We're really pleased to come to you tonight and present to you the updates to the New Orleans and Elm intersection project. As Kenny stated, the project did advertise this morning. Lots of hard work by both the Engineering and Construction Department and the consultant, Kimberly Horn, but we got it posted today. So it's really makes us very happy that it is up. As we met last week and discussed this, today it advertised. The intent is to bring it back May 17th to award here at Council. And we're looking at being in construction June 1st. Reason why we're trying to shoot for that is we want to utilize as much of the summer as possible to get as much construction as done before school starts as possible. We're looking at approximately 180 days. That's going to be pushing very hard on the contractor to try to get the roadway, which we're going to be constructing within the existing roadway, the new roadway. So we're going to be building new curbs and new roadway within the existing roadway. That's going to take approximately 180 days. We're looking at the end of November before that's complete. And then we'll move outside the curb lines to do the construction outside. That'll take another approximately 120 days. So we're looking at about 300 days total for the project, but substantially complete for the roadway within about 180 days. Next slide, please. This is the project footprint. I know there was a question last week with respect to the approximate extents of the project. What you see here is highlighted. The blue is the area that will be fully reconstructed with concrete, decorative concrete intersection. Outside of that are areas that are lighter gray. That is the mill and overlay construction for the asphalt. So those are the approximate limits. Now, the actual project will extend further north and south where we're replacing the water line for about 2,400 linear feet of water line. So the full extent of the project extends further north and south. The project will include traffic signal replacement, new street lighting, gateways, both a larger and a smaller scale gateway along the sides of the road and in the medians, hardscaping, landscaping, irrigation, and as I stated, 2,400 linear feet of water line.
Can I ask a question on that slide?
Sure.
Just because I'll forget if we don't. I won't forget, but since we can see it. So the shop front area, I thought all of it was supposed to be 10 foot. Like the 10-foot sidewalks.
So there will be a 10-foot trail along the south side of New Orleans, and that will run east and west. There will be 5-foot sidewalks everywhere else. Okay. So on the north side of New Orleans, we'll have a 5-foot sidewalk, and on the east and west side of Elm, we will have a 5-foot sidewalk. There will be a 10-foot trail that will be continuous on the south side. Now we will have to tie that in the future with to the projects the east and west of there. Okay. But there will be a 10-foot trail constructed as part of this project.
Because the concept is to connect the bike/walking trail that exists north-south on the other side of the Freshman Academy, to connect that to this so that it can be a part of this project.
Absolutely, that is correct.
I just thought the overlay had, I mean, we don't have to talk about it all right now. I mean, maybe we do. The overlay, I thought, had a 10-foot, like the shop front over part of the overlay, which is those 4 corners, and I just looked it up. shows primary street sidewalk minimum 10 feet. So, is that not right?
That is correct, is that that's as the project develops. And so when new development goes in the sense of the new buildings and things, they will be required to bring those up to the 10-foot size requirements.
Okay. So we're building, I'm super excited, but I thought I was getting my 10-foot sidewalks, not mine, but I thought, I just don't understand building 5-foot sidewalks and then going back and adding 5 more feet later, but that's just me. Okay, sorry.
That's quite all right.
Continue.
Next slide, please. As I stated, the interior of the intersection from curb return to curb return essentially is going to be a decorative concrete reconstruction, so it's going to be full depth. From the crosswalks in will all be some kind of a decorative concrete or pavers. Outside of the crosswalks will be plain concrete to extend out. And one of the reasons we did that was to try to take into account the asphalt track out that you have in this type of construction, since we do have asphalt outside the concrete area. And we wanted to allow some plain concrete in that area so that way when they run those vehicles over there, the asphalt will track on the plain concrete as opposed to the decorative concrete. The one thing I would like to point out, it's hard to see in this graphic, but the outside of the crosswalks, the pavers will have etched into it the names of the streets, so you'll have that. You see here 2 different color schemes that have been selected and presented by the consulting firm. The cool tone concept on the upper right-hand side and the lower right-hand side, the warm tone concept. These color schemes can be chosen after we bid the project and award it, but those are 2 of the options that we can look at. There's benefits and there are pluses and minuses to both of those. Let's see, as I stated, the plain concrete outside of the crosswalks to take care of some of that issue with the asphalt track out. These are the concepts that have been put together for the gateways. The lower left-hand corner that you see there is the larger gateway, which would be placed in the medians on the south and the west approaches. The reason for that is because those are the entryways kind of into the city proper. So we decided that it would be a good idea to have the larger gateways in the medians there. The smaller one on the right would be placed at on the sides of all 4 approaches. So you'd have that on all 4 directions, both sides of the road. These are some of the hardscaping and amenities that are going to be included in the project. Again, there's the two different color schemes that you see, and those are focusing in at one of the crosswalks and ramps, so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. On the right, you see the different types of amenities that we're going to be adding, the light poles and fixtures, the benches, and the planters. Next slide, please. These are some of the concepts with respect to landscaping. The plans include quite a bit of landscaping in the medians and along the edges of the road. Some trees, shrubbery, you name it. They also try to select different types of plantings that will not need a tremendous amount of water and are very hardy plantings that can withstand some of the traffic and some of the debris that they will be affected by the traffic. Next slide. Construction. Here starts presenting some of the challenges with this particular project. As we get into construction, the type of intersection that we're building here, this decorative concrete intersection, it really kind of limits ourselves with respect to how we can phase this. Because you have to have the joints down the center of the intersection, we have to build this in quadrants. And so the best option for this would be going the quadrant construction, where you have 1 lane open each direction for both Elm and for New Orleans. We can look at other options, but that would require either a full shutdown of the intersection or a partial shutdown of the intersection, and I know that can have its challenges with respect to traffic and also the businesses in that area. Construction hours, we've looked at some opportunities with respect to extending the construction hours that we normally have in our projects, which is usually 7 to 7. We've decided that we would like to extend that to 6 to 10, at least for the initial stages, and then discuss it with the contractor to see if there's a possibility of going 24-hour construction to speed it up. One of the problems we saw with that previously in discussing with contractors is the fact that they just don't have the staff to do it, and they can't keep their workers continuously working throughout the project. So, next slide, please. Again, some more of the challenges with respect to the project. No left-hand turns. With this type of construction, having a single lane each direction, we're going to have to limit left-hand turns. So when you get to the intersection, there's not going to be a left-hand turn availability there. And that's going to be challenging, I'm sure, to the public and to the transportation needs of the citizens. The block party, which is scheduled for July 1st. As I said, we're going to start construction June 1st. So we'll be into construction at that point. We'll have some concerns with traffic congestion and also people walking through the construction zone. I mentioned the asphalt track out, traffic in general, and then school traffic. As I said, this is going to be about approximately 180 days for substantial completion of the roadway itself, which means it's going to trickle over into the school year. And certainly we've had some discussions with the schools. And we have another meeting set up this Friday to discuss that even further with the schools. So we're reaching out to them right now. And then the holiday seasons that are coming up. July 4th, as we mentioned already, trying to get it done before Thanksgiving. It's going to be right about that time. And then Christmas coming up. We don't want to affect the shopping season. And I'll take any questions you might have.
That was really the only question I have. And y'all, I don't want to sound like I'm negative Nancy on that. Because I just had it in my head. Because I literally have this overlay district memorized, I think. So it's like 5 foot, what's 5 foot? So, but it's, y'all, this is amazing.
We can take a look at.
Is the reason for the delay funding? I mean, for inputting the 5 and the 10 and the 5 instead of 10, is it funding of this? Is that how we're going to meet the budget, or is there some reason behind it?
It actually is a part of the overlay district, if I may, is that the overlay district provides that new construction have a variable set distance from the building. And so if we were to put the 10-foot building in, we'd be setting where that building would be going. And so therefore, because that building can move back and forth by the overlay district, say they want to have more space for seating, outdoor seating or things along those lines. And so we want to have the flexibility for the development that comes to have that. So if they're going to be moving back, then they'll add the additional 5 feet at that time. It's just nothing's here yet, and that's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's coming.
It is coming.
With development, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So. Okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, and I know in our meetings, at least the one that I sat in, we did discuss mitigation of how to protect the construction area so that we can still make the July 1st event a success, and ways to keep that from happening. So when you say it's a challenge, it's not an insurmountable challenge, just one that has unique creative solutions that we get to do, correct?
Absolutely. One of the things that we will have is a mandatory pre-bid meeting where we will let all the contractors that are prospective bidders know what our plans are with respect to that event on July 1st. And make them aware of it right up front so that we can tell them, okay, this is our plan. We're going to shut you down a day or two before the event so that way you can get the project area cleaned up and cordoned off, and we can attack it that way.
And because it's not unlike what we did when we were updating the Rose District and we had parades come through. We were able to accommodate both. It had its challenges, but we overcame them, so it can be dealt with here as well. Challenges and opportunities,
Yeah. Yes, sir. We've already starting to look at that, and we've got some good ideas where we can handle that.
And I think all of it is just about communication. Yes. Because, and people are very, very supportive of these changes. I mean, the citizens are in general of these changes. So it's just about communicating, like plan ahead, get there early, plan to walk, and it's, no matter what, they're going to have to walk probably from somewhere. So it's just planning ahead enough, and us maybe talking to other places that we can get, that would let us park in their parking lots and things.
And I believe now the merchants are meeting like once a month. We will attend those meetings. We're actually scheduled to go in May before we open, and we'll continue throughout the construction just to continue to update them.
Well, and I think a key item here, and I know that it was discussed in my meeting, I'm sure it's discussed in everyone else's because it's so important, is the goal and the plan, why we're moving so quickly, is so that we can have this done prior to the holiday, the Christmas holiday shopping. And based on this timeline, God willing, and the creek don't rise, we'll be able to get it done. So I think, that's the key item, is we're being sensitive to the needs of the shop owners there, as well as making sure we have this great new addition.
The two biggest driving factors for the schedule were we wanted to maximize the summer month when the schools are out because the traffic volume is lower, and then exactly what you said, try to get complete by holiday season.
Just real quick, Mayor, members of council, I want to thank Kenny, Ethan, and Travis, and everyone in engineering construction, as well as the consultant, for moving so quickly to meet the expectation council had so we could bid this. And secondly is that I made it very clear, and I appreciate the questions tonight, to Kenny and to Larry, that we're going to have an amazing event for the block party, so they need to figure it out.
Well, and we did discuss it in detail. I mean, we discussed options, whether it's cyclone fencing around the, I mean, there's ways to make this happen so that it can be just as wonderful as it was last year and still allow us to keep this thing moving.
It's going to be so amazing, because the fireworks are going to be bigger and better. We're going to have live music. We're going to have all kinds of things to do. Is that no one's going to notice the construction?
That's right. That's right. That's right. I'm so proud of what we have done with this. It just makes me so proud of our team here at the city. And I mean, you guys, gals, I am a gal, and I always say guys, so just know what I mean.
We know what you mean.
Just know that I'm just so excited, and I know all of us are, but this is very cool stuff. And a lot of people said that, some people said, why would anybody come to New Orleans Square? But why would you not? We got pretty good stuff going on there. So
One big positive out of this is the parents may force their kids to ride the school bus to the 9th grade center now.
that's right.
Like in the old days.
Wouldn't that be amazing?